Hello and welcome to section 1 of Sweet Child of Mine by Guns N' Roses. Before we start, it's probably worth mentioning that on the original recording, Slash and the rest of the band, they tuned their guitar down a semitone. So the sound that you're hearing is actually D flat, but we're going to be staying in normal tuning. So all the positions are the same, but if you try and play along with the original records, it's going to sound out of tune. But for the sake of this video, we're going to stay in normal concert pitch. Okay, so now we're going to go to the main riff, the most recognisable part of the song that everyone knows. And interestingly enough, this was actually a little exercise that Slash used to practice, and it became the song after that. So it's a little bit of a sort of a tongue twirler, but for the fingers kind of thing. So let me just show you. The first 4 notes go like this. So. Okay, that's basically index finger on the D note here of the D string, fret 12. Then we're going to reach up to the octave of that note to the B string, fret 15, with our ring finger. Then we're going to play fret 14 of the G string with our middle finger, and then index down to fret 12, but on the G string this time. Okay, so we've moved from there to there with the index finger. So it goes something like this. Okay, now you might want to practice that just by itself, just to get used to it. The right hand, the way I'm picking it, is going down, up, down, up. So it's just called, it's alternate picking. So try and get used to that. You can even pause the video if you want and just try and get that under your fingers. Okay, then the next 8 notes of this little riff here, we're going to go up to the G note there, which is the 15th fret of the E string, and that's with our ring finger. Then we're going to play 14 with our middle finger. And then we drop down to 14 underneath it on the E string. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and again, up, down, up, down. Okay, I'm just going to play that, show you that from a different angle, play it slightly slower. Here we go. Okay, now the whole riff basically has that pattern, but we're going to change the root note because it follows the chords of the song. So we've got D, there's your D note. Next chord is C. What we do is we move up to the 3rd of that chord, which is an E note. So, okay, so we're going to go something like this. So we've gone, then we're going to root the note here. And then it's exactly the same. E note. Okay, so let's go show you that again. So this is over the D chord. Move to the E. And that's just a matter of moving your index finger between this note and this note. So it does that twice. And then the backing track would be a G. So we've got the G note here. So our index finger is in place already. And we play the same riff again. But at this point we're not skipping strings because we're on the same string on the G there. And then to round off the whole riff, we go back to the D version. Okay, so I'm just going to play that for you very slowly, and just watch where the index finger is going, because it's rooting on the D note, the E note, which is the 3rd of the C chord, and then the G chord there. Okay, so I'm just going to play that for you slowly. Then to the E, again. G. And then back to the D. Okay, now once you've mastered that, we'll probably need to have a look at the right hand technique. Now people play it in different ways, and I suppose it's whatever suits you. I'll show you the way I play it, but I play pretty much alternate picking until I get to this stage where I tend to do 2 downstrokes, so I'm ready for an upstroke again, coming up to this note. So we go. Next one. And then here, I go down, down at that point. Yeah? Down, down. Okay, but it might be easier for you to do it in a different way. It's whatever suits. I know that Slash doesn't play it the way I play it. He plays it with some different kind of upstrokes and what have you, but it's whatever's comfortable for you. The other thing worth mentioning as well is my left hand is exactly the same way that Slash plays it. But you might find it easier, or you know, an alternate way of playing it is with your little finger, which means when you get to that note, you can play it with the middle finger rather than your index finger. And basically you've got 1 finger per fret, which might make it a little bit easier, but if you want to play it like Slash, and I actually find it easier this way as well, just playing it with the 3 fingers instead. Okay, so at the beginning, that riff repeats quite a few times. It does it 3 times in total, but at the end of the last one, he plays a slightly different pattern, and it's just to kind of round it off before they go into the verse. So basically, it's the same. Okay. Then you get to the G version. Okay. Then at this point, he plays something slightly different. He plays a little run sort of down the scale, but playing this note in between, like we have done before. So we go. I'm going to go. And what I'm doing there is I'm playing the E notes by barring it with my index finger. So we've gone. Okay. You might want to look at that from another angle. So you're hitting that note there, but you're kind of rolling your finger to hit it. So it's the 12th fret there. Okay. So we've gone. Then we come to fret 15 here of the B string. So what I did there is I went back up again. So once I got to this 15, I've gone back to this note. And then down again. That's what's going to happen. So we go. Okay, so it's a little run, it's kind of, it's that kind of sound, but with this note in between it, between every note. And it's worth mentioning here as well, with my right hand, I'm kind of muting a little bit, because if I don't, all them notes are going to run into each other. It's going to sound like, which is what we don't want. We want it to be individual. An interesting thing I'm doing here, which is something you might develop over time. So when I play this note here, I'm kind of rolling my finger. So when I'm not playing that note, I'm not on the E string there. I'm kind of going, just a tiny little roll there, and then up again. See, because I'm not sounding that note anymore. And then roll back, and then off again. Okay, and when you hit that last chord, just do a little upstroke and catch this note again here. 2 notes together, and it just kind of plays a little chord there. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to play you the last round really slowly, just so you can get a grip of what he does at the very end. So we go like this. Okay, here we go. And that's it. And that's the whole intro. So what we'll do now is we're going to have a little play along. When you actually perform this, he uses quite a lot of distortion on his guitar sound. I'm only just bringing it down for the purpose of this lesson, so it's not too noisy, but it would sound more something like this. Okay, so if you've got a distortion pedal, make sure you've got that up, because we're going to drop down for the verses, but it gives it a really nice tone and chunk to it. So here we go, opening riff, little play along at a slower tempo, 100 BPM. Good luck with it, and we'll see you on the other side.